Hi, team. Welcome to the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Coming up, we break down the Umbara Flashpoint. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 209, who is right over there. And alongside, as always, is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey Max, that's going pretty well. I've been spending quite a bit of time in the Crisis on Umbara Flashpoint because I was trying to work towards getting enough points to do the stronghold thing. So I've been getting, fine tuning and getting a little bit faster each time, which is kind of a fun sort of little meta game. I find it kind of rewarding.
Well, yeah, what's your
Um,
fastest so far?
I mean, I don't actually time them, so it's not like that, but
Ah,
like the first
yeah.
time I fought the second boss in there, the bonus boss, it took me forever to kill it because it was healing itself because I killed the ads, and I was doing like zero damage to it. It would just I eventually had to like reset and I mean leave the
Yeah.
instance and come back and do it again. But just stuff like that and finding my favorite route, like the section where you have to pick up the 6 items.
Yeah.
Like I have a little route where I can get all 6 of them almost right away, and I end up right at the bonus boss when I pick up the 6th one. Um, yeah, just little things like that. And also, I've tried all different roles for my companion because she got blown off the train once. Treek did.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so I after that I left her on healing for that first fight thinking that she would stay in a more neutral position instead of being right up in that shadow assassin's face so
Yeah.
that she would get knocked off. Um, but I found it wasn't that hard. Well, we could talk about this during the flashpoint, but I found it wasn't that hard ultimately to just watch for because it's a conal thing with a telegraph and just, drag Treek out of it if
Hmm.
it's so that it's points the right way. But anyway, yeah, so that's pretty fun. And then MFN, we was on the pub side this week and we did KP 16 man with 12 people, so it was story mode, but still a little bit challenging. So it was fun. We got a little bit late start. We went all the way to the end, and then we failed in the last like I don't know. I want to say 2% or maybe it was 5% of KP, but we didn't have time of the last boss. We didn't have time to do them again. But it was a fun night all in all. So except for me and Kobu were working hard the whole time. Everyone else was just having fun.
Well, we did it short-handed, short-healered, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Um, and then in our raid team tonight, we had another sort of fun-filled evening because uh, we went and did Tithe and the Sisters, which we've been doing every week. I'm not sure when we're going to start doing those on hard mode. I don't know what the indicators are for that, but I feel like we've done the story mode enough that we are kind of like just chatting through it and everything else. So maybe time to start. And then we went and did, just to get something that we could finish, we went and did Veteran EV, and then we had time, so we also went and did Taboro's Courtyard. So it was a lots of finishes tonight in our ops team. So that was good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that
yeah, so
was that was fun.
how was your week, Max?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was fun. Getting back to the Republic side is always fun. I'm getting more and more gear and getting my Vanguard up to snuff on the Republic side. I even went back and did some of the, which we'll talk about, some of the overtuned Command XP dailies, and I put 11 ranks before I even opened the packs, which I think put 2 more on my Vanguard just by running the Oricon weekly dailies on that planet in about 25 minutes earlier this evening. So I got up to, I think I'm now up to 238 on my, or 240 on my Vanguard. So if I get a little excited and ambitious this weekend, I may push that Vanguard all the way to 300, which would be nice. I still have a little bit of a trouble with all of my alts not being the same command rank as my main, and I really would like that to be legacy. It's just so weird to push to be getting tier 4 gear on on my main and then switch over to another character who is also 70 and not and have such a long grind to get back to getting the same levels of gear on that character. I don't like that, but I like all the command XP that we're getting right now. I did also. I'm still having fun with Tithe and Sisters, and I think you're right. I think we're ready to push that to veteran mode. We certainly have them on farm. We kill them both sets of that really fast, and we could practically ignore a bunch of the mechanics. We're doing them so fast and so well, but we also understand what the veteran mechanics are already. I think we could get it done. So we should probably switch over to start trying that. And then everything else we did. I didn't do too much GSF this week. That's the only thing I did not do that I usually do. Mostly because I think I was trying to get a couple extra of the Flashpoint in, which we'll talk about, and we'll even try to run during the podcast tonight. But before we go off and do that, why don't we talk a little bit about what there's plenty of news. Let's talk about the news.
Now an Imperial News Network report.
So yeah, we had a patch today, 5.4a. And 5.4a happened and then unhappened because it was not happening the right way. And all of the things that they had to do to fix it ended up keeping the patch down for about 8 hours. Was it about 8 hours? About 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit longer. So the patch was broken and everybody was mad. So I'm gonna try to delicately decompose the angst and anger that happened during the patch. Going wrong for a couple extra hours, and now everything is fine and everything is good. But a couple things happened that I thought was a little ridiculous, which was Eric was keeping everyone up to date. Yes, he wasn't able to tell you exactly what was wrong, and I'll talk about that too. But he was staying on the forums. He was keeping live. He was saying, "Here's what we're doing. We're taking it back down. We're working on a fix. Okay, we've got something in texting, blah, blah, blah." And then he did a thing, which he's done a few other times before, which is everyone's in this thread. It's a big, long thread. Everybody's replying in the forums, mostly saying, "You're terrible, die in a fire." But regardless, he's keeping his chin up. He's staying in there, keeping everybody educated. And he's done this before. He said, "All right, just to keep things fun while we're in this thread, I'll start dropping a couple extra Tonfon codes and a couple cartel coin codes in the forum here." So he did that. And then a whole bunch of people apparently felt that was insulting. Because, how could you do that? We deserve so much more. We each deserve $1 million in damages for the pain and suffering you have caused us. And for you just to drop in, 5 random pet codes that only the Russian hacker bots network can even redeem fast enough, that's insulting to us. So fine. And he did. So Eric said, "Fine, I get it. I get you guys are insulted that we're goofing around here in the forums and I'm dropping some codes, so I won't." There you go. And really for about an hour after that, people continued to say, "Yes, it was so insulting. You insulted us with your insultingness." So fine.
But then there were people who were upset then because the people who came in feeling insulted spoiled it for everyone.
Yeah. But even which I'm really surprised. Well, anyway, because everybody thinks they deserve more, or if you're going to give something out, you should just give it to every single person in the world. You personally hand deliver to everyone on the planet.
What happened with some people is they jumped to the conclusion that this was BioWare's reparation for the downtime.
Yes. Yeah, I think a couple people did.
And for that, it doesn't fit, and that's right. But like Eric said, and he's done before, it's just a fun thing to pass the time during the day for the people who are hanging out on the forums, which, some people, that's what they do. I'm not willing to do that, so I don't get the little prize for hanging out on the forums.
Right.
It wasn't reparation for the patch.
Exactly. No, it wasn't. Yeah. So anyone who misunderstood that, hasn't been paying attention in the past or is new, so fine. And if you were thinking that that's what that was reparations, then, fine, I guess you could get angry at it, for one. For two, don't expect reparations. Patches go bad once in a while. It was only a few extra hours. And yes, I know every single person, there was like 35,000 people who decided that today was the day they were resubscribing, on a patch morning. And, great job, BioWare. Today's the day I decided to resubscribe, and this is what I get. And 35,000 of those people posted. And then there was, then there was the other, 25,000 people who, took the day off of work and quit their job and drove 500 miles so that they could be perfectly situated on this patch day to play as soon as the servers came up, because that's always guaranteed at a specific point in time. And, it's always the best day to take off work is on a patch day and be ready for it. When it wasn't even a patch of anything. This was like a patch of 5 bug fixes. So for you to pick this day on a patch day to take off work and quit your job and whatever else, I don't recommend doing that in the future. Don't ever do that with any game on a patch day. Expect that and yes, okay, so chat room. Yes, the EU got screwed. It was, quote unquote, an entire day. It wasn't actually any longer for the EU than it was for us, and plenty of people play in the morning in the US as well. But yes, it was prime time in the EU, and that sucks for them. For better or for worse, BioWare has to pick a time, or you're right, or as all the EU is asking, and then as Australia would ask, they could have 3 different downtimes across 3 different servers, and we all could pay. Happily pay an extra couple bucks a month subscription so that they could have the staff to do this. Oh, wait, we aren't going to pay for that. Okay, so we're not paying for that, so they need to pick one. They pick the time that globally is the least played time. Okay, and maybe you feel it's not, and maybe you feel it could be better, but that's the way it is, and yes, it sucks for the EU. However, it was still only, it Seema's editing the notes as I'm talking about some of the other parts of things that went bad. The other thing that people are asking for is BioWare, now you must tell us, I need a full reporting. You must call me up personally and tell me exactly what went wrong and exactly why you were so terrible. And really, let's hear who's going to get fired because of the extra, 4 hours of downtime. Why does that matter? What is that going to do for you? The 17,000 people who posted in the thread asking for that. So here's what may have happened. John checked in the wrong file. Well, I'm sure you'll then ask for John to be fired, and that's fine. I still don't think we should fire John for that. Or, yes, we forgot to test. Okay, maybe they did. Maybe they're that bad. Or, yes, my dog ate/peed on the build, as Seema put it. What does it matter? So something bad happened. Keith tried to lay out what some of the things that went wrong were in his post, but why? Who cares? If something went wrong, they got it done. They brought it back up.
It's all in how you handle it.
I moved from the EU to US because of this. So there you go.
That's a big move.
because of the way they screw the EU on the downtimes, the chat room says.
But there was a time when if there were issues with the game and it wasn't coming back up, we wouldn't know anything. We wouldn't even know if BioWare knew whether or not the game was down.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
I got to give Eric some credit for staying in there all day. And this is what I personally have been asking for in general is like, people say, oh, they can't say anything if they don't know anything. And I'm like, yes, they can. They can say something even when they don't know anything. And that's what Eric's been doing. He's like, hey, I don't know this, but this is what we're working on. I don't have an ETA, but I'm here talking to you. So I am glad of that.
Right. So at least give them that. At least give them credit for that. I know, there's probably there are people in the thread who are giving them credit for that. There's there's
Yeah.
still the 95% that are not and are saying things like, and are telling BioWare how to do their job. Why you should just test it on the PTS. Well, it doesn't work that way. The PTS is on a completely different development code base and different branch, and that won't work. And they do test. They just don't test that way. And yes, I get it that you are a better developer than they are, and I don't know. Are you asking for a job and asking them to hire you? Maybe they could. And yes, it would be terrible if they were running the International Space Station with this level of quality. So they could run these builds at the same level of quality as the code that runs the International Space Station. And, we happily would pay the $10,000 a month subscription that it would cost to run that operation, wouldn't we? Oh, no, we wouldn't. And you got to realize there's companies like Apple who are making probably the same amount of revenue that SWTOR makes, but they make it per hour instead of SWTOR's per year. And
Right.
they still put out updates that brick phones. So obviously throwing all the money in the world for the, that still, this stuff still can happen. So anyway, that was my little rant. There we go. That aside, what was supposed to go in today, Seema? And what was 5.4 going to bring us?
Oh my
couple
gosh.
little things.
I have no. Yeah. Okay. So today was supposed to be a couple of things. Yes, they were going to fix the increased CXP that we're all getting now for heroics, but only the IOCAF daily missions were going to get that fix. And I personally don't know if that fix actually went in, because I don't know what they ended up having to back out, etc., to get the game back up. It was supposed to be fixing the Umbara stronghold exploit, which, if you don't know what that is, Eric posted what it is, so I feel it's okay to say that
Yeah.
it apparently you can summon people to that traders area, and they can buy their stronghold even if they didn't have the Alliance recon things that you have to accumulate. And BioWare has says don't do that. We do consider that an exploit, just so you know.
Right.
And yeah, so don't do it. And apparently there was a bug where if you died on the way to or near the last boss in Crisis on Umbara, you couldn't always get back to that boss. So there's supposed to be a fix for that. Also, the gladiopod workers and soldiers, which are those kind of sort of bug things that are roaming around in there, not the flying ones, but the sort of almost spider-looking ones, counting properly towards achievements. And then they also said defensive turrets on the train will no longer block progression if they are aggro, which I don't think that was fixed, because I did a run of the Flashpoint right before this, and you definitely cannot open doors and stuff if you still have even an explosive canister, if one of those is aggroed. And I don't know how they aggro, but they can. You can't open a door, so
Okay.
all of this stuff may not be in. Looks
Right.
like.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so the biggest one there to remember is that getting summoned to buy the stronghold without having unlocked that trader area, that is an exploit. Don't do it. Okay? Exploiting is bad. Okay? I think what was Keith's comment on that? It was, yeah, it's
Please don't do it. We would hate for your gameplay to be disrupted again.
yeah, which ...
Just subtle.
like when we ban you or suspend your
Right.
account.
Right.
I don't know what he means by that. Yeah. Yeah, we would
It's like
hate
that.
for your game time. I'd hate for anything to happen to your game time there. Got some pretty little game time going on there. I'd hate for anything to happen to it. Be a shame. Yeah. Okay. So don't exploit. What else though is not an exploit that we should be enjoying at the moment, Seema?
Oh, so the increased CXP that you can get from heroics, they know that that's happening. and they say, have fun with it. We're going to fix it. They meant to fix it earlier, but it's probably not going to be fixed now until at least next week. But yes, you're not, no one's hoping that you stop doing weekly heroics or the planetary heroics. Just go for it, man. And I hear that it's very rewarding. It's
It is
very rewarding,
quite
especially
rewarding.
especially the quick ones like CX198, CZ198.
So I went and did Oricon just because I hit planetary missions and I skipped Belsavis, and Oricon was the first one that came up. So I said, fine, I'll go do Oricon. And I did this on my Vanguard, who was what did I say, 227? Yeah, it was
I
227.
love Oricon.
And Oricon was cool, so I ran and I did Oricon. I had a boost on, and so I had a boost, and we've got our guild thing going on, but that was it. Nothing else. Anything. I guess there is nothing else. With all of that though, that's running, and the extra that you're getting off of those daily bonuses, just running them and not even opening the packs yet, I got from 227 to 238. And then I got up another couple command ranks as I opened the packs and disintegrated stuff. Got up to 240. So plenty of command XP, command rank. As I said earlier, I may try to get to 300 on my Vanguard as my second character to command rank 300, which would be nice. Also in the news, the stronghold cap. So here's the post, right? So there's good parts and that bad parts. The great part of this, so it's intended that we did not raise the stronghold cap due to its impact on conquest. The idea of place chairs in every hook for your bonus is not a great experience. So two things. One, place chairs in every hook. That sounds a real lot like stuff that we have said on this podcast multiple times. I call my Manon stronghold the House of Chairs, right? And I've toured it on this podcast and showed everybody the chairs. So I'm not saying that they got this from us, but I'm saying they got this from us.
Right. They clearly watch our show. They're clearly avid fans.
So what did I say? There's two things. There's many more than two things. So that's number one. Number two, it's intended that we did not raise the stronghold cap due to its impact on conquests. I don't get this completely, but I like the idea that it wouldn't need to impact conquests. However, what this actually means, this very first part, it is intended that we did not raise the stronghold cap, means not that the conquest cap of 150% multiplier is any different, because it's not. It's still 150% multiplier if you decorate all 6 of your strongholds, but you can still only have a maximum of 6 strongholds, which means if you have 6 strongholds currently, because you have all the strongholds in the game, and you get the new train stronghold, the new Umbara stronghold, you have to deactivate one of your current strongholds. That's not what we're asking for, because what that does is you go ahead, deactivate one of your strongholds, and
back to placing chairs.
Yes. So when I didn't get it yet today because again the downtime impacted me. You heard me ranting about the downtime. I had time today that I would have been able to potentially get the stronghold, and I didn't because of the downtime. But whatever. I didn't get my pitchfork and torch out. I just took it like a grown up. And however, if I had gotten the stronghold, yes, I would have gotten the stronghold. I would have had to deactivate another stronghold. I would have deactivated Coruscant right off the top one of my list to deactivate. I would have activated the new stronghold, the train, and it would have immediately become the train of chairs. Because to get back to 150%, you have to decorate the 6th stronghold to 100%, and it will make it the train of chairs. So all aboard the train of chairs. It is coming. And this second sentence does not make any sense then, because they did not solve this for us.
No, they didn't. But I think what they're maybe thinking and maybe not quite saying is when they were talking about do we raise the stronghold cap with this stronghold, they said because it affects conquest, let's just not do it. Let's just be neutral change, because if we switch it to 7 and 175%, then all people have to look forward to is another house of chairs. I, I get what you're saying, that you still have that to look forward to, because if you're the person that they're concerned about, which you Max are, because you have 6 and you have them at max.
They should be concerned about me. If anyone.
I mean, I'm not the target, right? Because I don't have all 6. I'm happy with my 125% multiplier. So I'm not really affected by this. I can buy the stronghold, and yes, I'm going to have to do House of Chairs, but I already would have had to anyway, because it's already 150% is the multiplier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the target audience of this whole discussion, they have 6 strongholds, they have them to the max. They're going to have to deactivate one, and they're going to have to put down 1,000 chairs, or however many chairs it works out to. So, I mean, it's the last sentence of that comment where they say, "So we want everyone to decorate as they please." That's the part that's not quite true yet, or
Right.
even remotely true yet.
So maybe this was, and we're going to fix this for you in the future. That
Yeah.
isn't the case today, and that would have made
Right.
this clear. So the
Yeah,
idea that
I
place
think-
chairs is not a great experience. Yes, it's not. We would like to allow you to have strongholds and decorate the way you want. That's great that you would like that. You have not done that to this point,
Right,
and you
right,
did
right,
not
right.
say that you're doing it in the future or something. So it was just confusing.
Yeah.
I got really excited. I got really excited when I first
Yeah,
read
he
this.
did. He did get
And
excited.
I'm like, Seema, instant message, bat phone, Seema, we're not going to have to put all of the chairs out. And then we do. We have to put all the chairs out. So I got a little sad or angry or whatever the case may be. Anyway.
The opposite of excited.
Yes, I got unsighted.
Unsighted. Umbara-sided.
Anyway, so that's that. So there we go. Plenty of news. There's tons of dev posts. Most of it is, we don't know yet. We're gonna get you news. We're trying to do, Keith's summary of the whole issue at the end. Something you could read. He does a good job of summing it up. But plenty of dev posts in the dev tracker this week. Outside of that, we did have some community news. We did have some world news as well. So I assume I'm speaking for you as well, Seema. Our hearts go out to anyone who's having trouble down in Texas.
Right.
The hurricane was pretty rough down there. 4th largest city in the country. It's getting completely flooded out. A lot of people are having problems. A lot of people are really pitching in and helping out and helping with the rescue. There's been some really heroic efforts. We all are thinking about it. The whole community is really thinking about it. A lot of the influencers are really thinking hard about it. And they tried last night even to do a joint stream amongst a bunch of the influencers to try to get together and promote everyone spending a little time at least thinking about it and maybe donating to places like American Red Cross on behalf of what's going on down there for the hurricane relief. That got postponed because Twitch had problems last night. This is now going to happen next week, next Wednesday, the 6th at about 7 p.m. Central. And I may try to jump in and run with that group. There are going to be a whole bunch of the streamers, probably 6 or 7, that are going to be streaming live. A bunch of the influencers getting together and playing some SWTOR and doing a bunch of shout outs to hurricane relief and making sure that everyone is aware of all the places that you can donate and all the places that you can even text a quick number to, like text Harvey to 90999 to get a $10 donation out to the Red Cross very quickly. And that'll all be happening next week. So keep an eye out for that. I think it's a really cool thing for our community to get together and do. I imagine a whole bunch of other gamer communities are doing the same thing. Gamers tend to be really good about this kind of thing. And anyone who's down there and actually physically helping out, you guys are heroes more than anything else. So that's excellent. So shout out. What else, Seema? We got any other community news to now that I made things really serious?
Well, that was actually a very good one and a big one,
Yeah.
but not quite on that scale. I just want to say for our guild next week, MFN is going to be on the imp side, and by next week I mean September 5th. And yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Also, another shout out to AIE the Guild. Guild info, aie-guild.org. Check it out. You can find the way to join our guild on Jedi Covenant, Imperial side or Republic side. You can find also there the ways to catch up with us on Discord. You can also catch us, AIE SEMA and Max the Gray, on Twitter and get to us that way. We'd love to have you come join the guild and do these kinds of things with us on a regular basis. Also, shout out to the chat room. You guys you keep us in line, you keep us informed, you tell me when I'm crazy. I really appreciate that. So I will catch up with all of you after the show. And without further ado,
wield your prosperity as a weapon.
If you would like a new stronghold, which is what that little drop-in is talking about, your stronghold is wielding your prosperity as a weapon. Here, we're going to tell you tonight how to get a free stronghold. First, you run the Umbara flashpoint. And then you run it again and again and again and again.
Yes, a few times.
Yes.
A few times. That was part of the argument that I was reading on the forum today. It was sort of like, how many times constitutes a grind? It was a long thread, too.
So it's only 10 solo, which and it's only what? It's only 2.2 times in master mode. So it's a little bit of a grind, but not terrible. How many times have you run it, Seema?
I think the word grind has come to mean something more like something I don't want to do instead of the classic meaning of doing this.
Even if I have to do it twice, it's still...
Yeah, it's a grind. This is for Jace Malcolm.
So we're gonna run it here while... This is going to be an experiment. We're going to run it while we talk and talk about the Flashpoint and talk about what we've done in the Flashpoint. By the end, we may get to a little bit of the story spoilers, so, we'll give you if you don't want to see anything about the Flashpoint, then... don't even look now. You might have to shut off at this point. But we'll get to the spoilery parts if we even do at the very end when we talk about who the traitor is, which you do find out as part of this. But regardless, here in the Flashpoint, we're on the train. You've seen this in the trailers. The Flashpoint starts with you getting dropped off on the top of the train, and this is the train that then becomes your stronghold. So this is the cool part, and this is why you're running this particular Flashpoint multiple times. As you get down in here, we're going to go through the couple of the boss fights and talk about what we see. So here, as we're sort of jumping in and killing some of this trash, a couple of the things that you sort of see right off that I thought was interesting is you get these traps, right? And you can disarm some of the traps, but not all the traps. So here's a little disarm for these laser wire traps on story mode. And we're doing this on solo mode. So you can do this on solo mode, which is sort of a story mode. You can do it on veteran, and you can do it on master. And the rewards you get are double each of those. Not completely double. What's the total? So if you do it on each boss, you get one. It is double. So you get one of the currency reward on story, 2 on veteran, and 4 on master. For most of the bosses, except the second and fourth boss, you're getting 2, 4, and 6, or 2, 4, and 10 on the final boss. So you're getting total of 6 of the currency reward, 12 on veteran, and 25 on master. So yeah, 6, 12, 25. It doubles and quadruples as you go up. It's those rewards that I'm talking about. That currency is the Alliance Recon data. Alliance Recon data is the thing that you're going to use to by the rewards that you get, including the unlock to go up into the trader's quarters and buy this particular stronghold. So when I said you need to run 10, it's because you need to get 60 of these Alliance Recon data tokens, and if you do every boss in the flashpoint, you're going to get 6 for doing it on solo mode. So yeah, we hit a couple of those traps to start. You got a couple of these canisters. You got some of these turret mobs. Here, she yelled it again.
Yeah, she might yell it one more time.
On story mode, you can just stand right in these traps. They don't do all that much. Are you healing, Seema? So, or do I need to heal myself? I'll heal myself. I've got, maybe I'll switch.
I'll heal you.
I've got Shay set to DPS. This is my second companion across my entire legacy that I bothered to get to 50, and I can pretty much just do nothing and let Shay Vizsla here do the whole flashpoint on story mode. So story mode is not very hard. The traps even. So if you step on one of these panel traps, the floor panel traps, it pops up an extra turret that you have to kill. So that's a little bit annoying. If you step in one of the laser beam, why is it not? Oh,
I wasn't heavy enough.
I guess not. So this is my story. So maybe you stepping in it in one of those panel traps.
Oh, freedom.
Freedom. Yeah, look, you can just stand right on them.
I'm like a companion, because the companions don't trip them either.
I'm gonna set you to healing, and I'll set Shay Vizsla to DPS, and I will go make a sandwich. If you step in one of the laser beam traps, it shocks you. It telegraphs on the ground. If you step in one of the panel traps, it pops up an extra turret that you need to kill. Bunch of little trash here. They yell random things. If you remember, and some of them are healers. I haven't run it on anything except story yet. I imagine if you're going to run this on master mode or veteran mode, you'd want to be killing the healers. So keep an eye out for those. I
always imagine that it's the healers that are yelling out things.
I do like that you start out on top, you drop down into the train, then you climb back on top of the train. I do like this little effect when we're inside and outside.
So B. Kavanaugh just said in chat that there's an achievement for triggering those traps 25 times. I want to know how you know that.
Exactly. Good question. Not that I found that by accidentally doing that. What about for blowing up these canisters? So this is another thing as you go along. These aren't the normal kinds of canisters that you blow up, because you have to. They're not the same as every other operation that's had explodable canisters. They're sort of a new kind of canister that it's not just a single shot. You can have to take two shots into it. I noticed on some of these. So they're slightly different than the existing canisters, but it's not really that big a problem.
And if there's a canister near enough, it'll ignite that one too.
Yeah, they'll chain reaction to blow up a bunch of the canisters if they're chained together. So I thought that was interesting. When you're on this train part, now that we're in here, two other things to mention. You are just stepping on all the panels, aren't you?
Yep.
You can knock ads off the train when you're up top, or even here on the sides. You can knock them off the train and they will die if they fall off the train. You can fall off the train and get knocked off the train, especially those assassins that come out and fight you to have a little bit of a knockback. So don't get knocked off the train. And then here's one other extra little ability is you can pick up these flame canisters, which will give you an extra action item so that you can shoot the flamethrowers at the mobs.
Right.
Although...
Right, which just warms them up a little bit.
Yeah, it basically, it's like toasting marshmallows. It doesn't really do very much at all. I was sort of disappointed. So I don't even bother. I picked them up the first time just to see what it would do, and it doesn't do much. But you like the canisters, right, Seema?
Yeah, I like the canisters.
And they'll do a pretty good amount of damage to, especially to the non-strong ads.
Especially like I'm on the last boss fight, because there's a ton of them and it's fun to set them all off.
Right.
And they
So,
will kill all the ads.
so as you go through, you're fighting your way up the train. You get about halfway up the train, and you get to an elite mob who's a little bit of a mini boss. You kill that elite mob, and I was expecting a little bit more of a puzzle here. They act like this is a puzzle. Find a way to get across to get across the train. But there's only, I mean, standing right in front of you, there's a data pad. You click that data pad, and then 2 inches to the left, there's the next thing you click. And then, with a big, huge green target right above you, straight ahead is the next thing you click. There's no puzzle. There's no mystery. It did not take, it took me 0 amount of time to figure that out. So I think they missed an opportunity to make that a little more of a puzzle there, but that's okay. So again, you're fighting your way across the train. You get these little assassins who will stealth out. You got these mobs here. I'll show you a little knockback. Boom! Knock a couple of them off the train there. Kill the medic, and is the assassin? Oh, you already killed the assassin. Shea Vizsla probably killed the assassin. She is a killer. So as I said, this was my second companion that I got up to rank 50.
When I first started running this, I would kill the medics first, but now I don't bother because,
yeah, they're pretty weak. They're not SEMA level healing, so you don't really have to worry.
Well,
about
I'm more annoyed by the troopers that put the red circle down, so I usually kill them first, if anything.
Oh, are you down here?
Yes, I jumped down. I forgot I would aggro.
These 2 turrets up at the front of the train. So there's 2 champion large turrets at the front of the train. Don't shoot them, because that's a trap.
It is a trap. Don't shoot them.
And until they
I did that too.
Until they fix it, if you shoot them, and I didn't the first time, but I did the second time I ran through, just because why not? I sort of expected that it was a trap. If you do shoot them and aggro them until they fix it, you'll have to kill yourself, do a /stuck or something, because you will not be able to finish the operation if you aggro those, because you can't kill them. They are quite strong. So you clear out the rest of the trash. You let your companion clear out the rest of the trash. I forgot to mention there are also colto barrels as you're going along, also, that you can take advantage of. But once you get to the front of the train, you'll get to the first boss fight of the instance. So there's 4 boss fights throughout the instance. The first fight is Technician Connie,
Mm-hmm.
and Shadow Assassin Shadow Ass Elava. So how do you do this fight? So I know what's been recommended. I've heard some of the strats, and I think on Vet and Master mode you have to do it different, but then I do it.
I started out doing Technician Connie first, like the strats say, but he's actually really a giant pain. So I just kill the assassin first now, because she you can keep your companion targeted on her and just kill her, and I just ignore the turrets. And then when she's dead, then I kill all the turrets, and then I kill him.
Yeah.
He's annoying for 2 reasons. One is, well, the biggest reason is when he's messing around with his turrets, he has a debuff that eliminates all damage against him. So you have to keep changing targets anyway.
Yes. Yeah, he goes immune, which is really annoying. So that's why, same thing, when I'm in here in story mode, I just kill the assassin first. Because the assassin, while the assassin does stealth and drop aggro, and that's actually a problem that you need to worry about when you're in here on a master mode with a group, and the tank then needs to pick that assassin back up. That's a problem. But on solo mode, I much prefer just killing the assassin first. But yeah, in theory, and on veteran and master, the technician is much more of a problem because of a couple things. One, he does that ability where he pulls you in, and I think also drops aggro when he pulls you in.
Yes.
He spawns a bunch of these turrets, and then he runs around to each turret and does the quote-unquote upgrade. So here you saw it was sort of a little turret, and now it's this big giant turret. On Master Mode, if you're not killing those turrets and keeping him from upgrading, especially the upgraded turrets, that will wipe your group. And while he's doing that little bit of the upgrade, as you can see here, he's immune. So that's annoying. So once he's done being immune, then just shoot him, and he's done, and there's your first boss out of the operation. Again, you loot the boss. So you got recon data too?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Oh well, which you should, I'm glad what you should, but yeah, we should just run it together, and we'll see how fast we can do it if we're all doing it. But you kill that first boss to get your first bit of recon data, that the 1, 2, or 4, depending on what mode you're in, and then you'll get a cutscene. If you're not doing the story, you'll get a version of the cutscene that doesn't spoil it for you, which you could just ignore. Traitor, which we won't talk about just yet. But anyway, a little bit of a cutscene. You get done with the cutscene, which ends up derailing the train and puts you down on the surface of Umbara, and now you need to sort of need to fight your way through the rest of the flashpoint on the surface, which is sort of cool. So what do you think of this surface area, Seema, and what we have to do down here?
So, as I said a couple of weeks ago, I watched the Clone Wars episodes that happened on Umbara.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty faithful representation. It's got these purple and red viney things. It's got the dangerous wildlife everywhere. It's not as dark as on the TV series, but I'm dangerous wildlife everywhere. It's not as dark as on the TV series, but I'm okay with that. In fact, I'm probably happy with that, because that would get really old if you couldn't really see.
Yeah, I'm never fond of not being able to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the biggest difference, I think, style-wise from what you see in the animated series. Is it's definitely not as dark. But it's dark. It's dark as any of the dark places. Like, you know, Ilum is a dark planet, is a night planet, and this is as dark as Ilum, and so it's. Yeah, I think it fits. I also, as you said, yeah, I like the art. I like the creatures. We have the banshees. We have the Slybex things. In fact, one of the bosses is the Alpha Slybex, which showed up in the little story that we heard.
Yep.
So, that reminds me of the story. So, if you read the short story that showed up on the BioWare's website, you heard sort of the story of the couple characters that were having a conversation on the train. I suppose we just killed them, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess, right?
Or the hooded figure did by crashing the train.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's hope it's that, because I sort of liked them.
Yeah.
But they were
They're
ready
real
to kill
people.
us at the end of the little story, weren't they? So, anyway, so we heard about them. We heard within that story they talked a little bit about some of the creatures that you would encounter, and we encounter those creatures when we get here in the Flashpoint too. So, a little bit of a challenge as you're running through this part. You have to pick up pieces of. So can you just get them? Oh yeah, you're getting them, and I don't
Yeah.
want to get them.
Because you're talking.
Yeah.
You're talking. I'm
And
working.
We're going slow. We're gonna have a long podcast tonight. But you collect these Adigan crystals, and gets you to the next boss.
Deegan.
A Deegan. Yeah. See, I always said it wrong, but now we've heard.
Yeah, me too.
The way it is the right way. So you get to the next boss, and this is a boss you can actually skip. See these ads. You're not supposed to kill these ads, but my companions always kill the ads, which is fine. if you kill the ads, so this is the next boss in the fight. This is the Alpha Slybex from the story. If you kill the ads, he gets 2 stacks of Avenge the Fallen, which increases the damage that the Alpha Slybex does. So you should not kill those ads, especially in the harder modes. Again, in the solo mode, it doesn't really matter. I killed him, and I could sit here and... Oh, he killed Shay Vizsla. Well, now I'm going to avenge Shay Vizsla. I wasn't even watching.
Right, if you stand in the poison breath, it's a lot of damage.
So his poison breath is the main problem with this fight. 3 stacks of it. When you're in the veteran master modes, when you're with a group, the healer needs to cleanse that poison off of you really quick. And you also don't want to stand in the telegraphed attacks. You don't want to kill the ads.
It's 2 different poisons, the telegraphed one and the stacking one.
Okay.
So the telegraphed one
And
you
can
can
they both
avoid
be
completely.
cleansed?
No, the
Oh,
one
right.
if you stand in the breath is just gonna hurt you.
Right. Yeah, you will die. And on master mode, I heard you'll just die if you stand in that telegraphed poison.
And the stacked one, the one that stacks, can any of these 3, the little Slybexes can do it too. So you
And-
can end up with 2 sets of stacking poison.
Okay. But those are cleansable and can be cleansed and should be
Yes.
cleansed in the...
They're cleansable, but if the Slybex is hitting you, they come right back.
So that's interesting. So the tank would probably have poison on them the whole time in the harder modes, because you're gonna want to keep the small Slybexes up and continue to tank them through the fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I've been doing is, if Tree gets low, or if I get low, then I'll, cleanse it and heal. It'll come back, but at least you get a little breather.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, kill that boss though. You can skip that boss, but that one. So the first and third boss only give you 1, 2, or 4 of the recon data. That second boss gives you 2, 4, or 6 depending on the mode. So it's one of the bigger sources of the Alpha Recon data, which is did I say Alpha Recon? What did I say? Alliance Recon data. It's one of the bigger reasons to be doing this operation, this flashpoint, to get that currency. So don't skip it. That's my advice to you.
I mean, Kobu in the chat room just said that the ads have random aggro, but also when the boss does this little thing where it disappears, you can find yourself targeting one of the ads. If you don't want to kill them, then you got to watch what you're doing and retarget all the time on the boss.
So hopefully they have more health, and I expect that they do. They have quite a bit more health on veteran and master mode, because they just die so fast on story mode. So you kill a couple more bits of creature trash, you wind your way through this wreckage, and you'll get to the second boss. So the second boss is this Vixian Mauler. It's got a ground pound ability, it's got a leap ability. If you stand in the telegraph circle of the leap ability, it will stun you and lock out your abilities for a few seconds, which is problematic because it also drops aggro at that point, and that makes it difficult for the tank to pick it back up. But otherwise, this boss is pretty easy to kill. So you get through that boss, it gives you another of your recon data. It doesn't have ads. It's not very much of a problem. And then you continue your way through
on story mode for sure. It's a tank and spank, just a spank.
Or it's a companion spank.
I like these
make a
things,
sandwich
these
and spank.
Mantors, because they're completely melee, so it's really easy to round them all up and AoE them down.
Yeah, when I do this in solo, when I'm trying to go quick, I just run through here all the way to the end, and pick up all of these, and then just AoE them down. So here's the Banshees. The Banshees are the flying creatures, which were in the animated series also. What were the other calls? The other things called? The
Mantor.
Mantors. The Mantor is the mount that you can buy with the so this elite Mantor, once you get extra Alliance Recon data currency, you can buy this Elder Mantor as a mount.
Yeah, you can.
Off of that the same vendor that will give you the unlock to get the stronghold. So that's sort of cool. So this is sort of the next stage before you're getting to the end. You'll also see a lot of these. I don't know why they have many of these non-aggro injured Umbaran soldiers.
I don't know either. And I thought maybe the idea was that they are injured so they're not going to attack you, but they're injured by the crash so they're not a threat to you, maybe.
Yeah, and so maybe it's just extra flavor. I was wondering if, like, in master mode that they do aggro to give to make it much more difficult.
Oh, yeah,
much,
that could
much
be.
more trash. You can skip most of them, but you can also kill them. I don't know. It's a couple extra.
There's an achievement for
legacy
killing them.
points. Is there?
Apparently so, yeah.
It's achievements for everything. Probably achievements
But
for blowing up
the
these
Kavanaugh
canisters
just said in the
too.
chat room.
No getting around this.
Probably.
Find a way to blast through it.
So
Now these guys back here are the gladiopods.
the what?
Gladiopod.
Gladiopods. So this is like the third creature type. that
Yeah,
we're
and
getting here?
these were in the patch notes of, I forget. There's something being fixed about them.
Because they count. There's another achievement.
Oh yeah, they weren't counting towards the achievement or something.
So this is so after you've killed the third boss, so 3 out of 4 bosses, you have to go and solve kind of a puzzle, which says, hey, there's a bunch of the wreckage that's blocking your way. Figure out a way to get around it. It's pretty straightforward. You just go and kill those gladiopods, and there's crates of a rocket launcher, which gives you an extra ability on your extra ability bar. And there's a big green circle that you stand in, and you shoot your little extra ability, and it clears out that wreckage for you. So not too much of a problem. Not too crazy to figure it out. I didn't do it too much, but I've been trying lately to use my macro binoculars to see if it sort of show any hints to any of the things you need to figure out, and it doesn't. It doesn't in here, and it didn't in the last one, which I was hoping it would. It doesn't. I think they have to remember that they have that, just to.
That would be cool.
Because I definitely did it in the beginning to try to see if I could see anything like how to disarm the traps, or see if it would like show me, hey, there's a trap here, but it doesn't do anything like that. It doesn't illuminate them in any interesting way, unfortunately. So a tiny bit more
They did that.
What's that?
They did it to a certain extent on Ziost, where you could see like the physical memory of the people and how they died there.
And there was there is one place that you get to do a macro binocular daily, or maybe it's a one-time thing on Iocath, where you look off into the distance and you find points of interest.
Oh, that's true.
They haven't completely forgotten it, I guess. I'm being unfair there. Tiny bit more trash as you walk through the last segment of the trail, where you're fighting your way through to try to chase down. And what you're doing in the story is you're chasing down the traitor who betrayed you on the train and crashed the train, and then escaped, and you're tracking them through this area of the wildlife. You get to this end point in the path, and the traitor jets off into the sunset and leaves you to fight the final boss of the flashpoint,
which is an Umbaran spider tank.
Yes. So here we see the side note. I don't know if anyone noticed here. I dressed. We were in the chat room talking about it. I dressed Shay Vizsla in the droid armor that I like. My favorite droid armor that I really like, and she looks awesome. Look at that! Isn't that cool? Anyway,
It does
so
look
that
cool,
was
yeah.
that was the spider tank coming down. So here's the spider tank. Story mode again. Whatever. Do whatever you want. Have your companion kill it. Veteran and master mode, this is a difficult fight. There are tons of ads that show up during this fight, and you must kill them very quickly because they will lay down lots of damage on your group. There are a bunch of these explosive canisters which can help you kill ads. However, I heard even it's potentially recommended to just like clear them out quickly and blow them up because they can make it difficult to target the ads when you need to be targeting them quickly. So maybe they're not worth their value. They are in little clusters, and as you blow up one of the canisters in part of a cluster, it will blow up that whole little cluster of them. So you need to be keeping the ads under control. The spider tank itself has a couple of abilities that get telegraphed. There's a long, narrow telegraph that you can step out of, and then there's big blobs of flame that it's dropping on the ground too that you need to be running out of. Once the spider tank gets down low enough, it just starts spawning ads nonstop on a timer. So you need to then just burn it down once it gets to 15% or below.
I mean, even in story mode, the ads can overwhelm you.
Yeah. Yeah, when I set my companion to DPS and I was DPS on my tank, I did kill the ads because it was going to kill us because we had no healing, and there was just you end up getting a lot
Right.
of ads. In the early
And you
parts
have
of yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say you have to kill them anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
or do they
yeah.
disappear?
No, they don't disappear at the end. You have to kill them
Yeah.
regardless. And there is a bug here. If you don't even kill all of the canisters at the end, you can't exit the flashpoint. Because these canisters can be aggro to you too.
Right. So you have to go make sure you kill every last canister. What I do is I sick my companion on the droid, and then I kind of ignore the various telegraphs and area effects because I'm more concerned about the ads. And then when I get a bunch of ads, I explode canisters, which kills the ads.
Yeah. All right, so let's finish this off. Show you the telegraphs here. Show you what it looks like when you start fighting this spider tank. Now you got these groups of ads that are coming out and running around. You got these big blobs of fire that are dropping on the ground. You know, kill the ads, blow up the canisters if they're going to be useful to you. This fire that's going to be all around, don't stand in it. You don't get stunned by the see, Shavis like killed the spider tank too quick. She is a badass, man. But there's ranged ads as well as melee ads, so that can be problematic for a group as well. So watch out for those ranged ads grouping up in the back, because they can really start doing a lot of damage to your group. And then clear out the rest of the canisters to get yourself out of combat at the end.
I mean, one thing you can do with these canisters is you can target them in the normal way and hit them with a ranged attack, which mostly with canisters you kind of have to run up to them and right click on them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because they're like attackable mobs as opposed
Yeah.
to clickable scenery or
Right.
clickable objects. Yeah, which that's sort of what makes them different. Although that can be problematic when you can try to be tab targeting to a group of ads and you're targeting through tabbing through all of the 50 canisters that are all around. I think that's why some people clear them out.
Or you can just hit them.
Or just blow them up, just kill them.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So then you kill the spider tank, and that's the fourth boss out of 4. That spider tank, 2 Alliance Recon data on story mode, 4 Alliance Recon data on veteran, 10 Alliance Recon data on master. And Bob's your uncle. That's the end of the flashpoint. You get your little stack of recon data. That's your currency to buy some of the rewards. And again, if you're in the story, then you see the final bits of the cutscene as you exit. And I guess because we're over, and might as well not spoil it, Seema, I guess, why don't we leave that part off for now?
Yeah,
of
I agree.
and maybe
Let's
we'll talk
not
about it next
spoil it.
week.
I
Or,
mean, yeah.
yeah, we got
If
time. Maybe not everyone has gotten through it yet. Get through it because we're going to talk about it soon. Because I like it and it's exciting and it's interesting. But go do it. Check it out. Play it. I recommend it. It's not very much story. It's not very long to get through, but it's a nice little twist and it's an interesting development that I find quite interesting. So I'll just I'll leave it at that. I keep getting close.
I have 57 Alliance Recon data things now.
Do you? Oh, you are 3
You know,
away from.
Thanks, BioWare.
We could go right back in after this. It's pretty late.
Yeah, it's late.
Because you'd only have to kill two bosses.
That's
And-
right. The first two bosses.
And you would. We should have done this on veteran. You'd be all done.
Yeah.
Side note on those Alliance Recon data, one point that I do not like about what they did with the Alliance Recon data is
Oh, yeah.
50 per week cap. Did we? I think we ranted about this last week, didn't we?
We might have. I
Yeah.
think that I have a feeling it's possible that we ranted on that
Probably.
already.
50 per
But-
week cap, 100 per total cap on this Alliance Recon data currency bound to character. So if you're starting from scratch and you want the stronghold, 2 weeks minimum.
So
Sucks.
one of the comments on the forums in the thread that we were talking about, a person said, a better way of handling this whole thing would have been to say early on, yes, the stronghold is coming with this patch. However, you won't be able to open it. The fastest you'll be able to open it is in the second week. So
Right.
that the expectations are set
Yeah, exactly.
instead of come crashing down on patch day when they find out. It's just
Right.
I
Right.
totally agree with
It's a
that.
little crushing when you got in there and you all excited and you cleared your calendar so you could grind that flashpoint out, do your 10 times, and then you realize, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. That's disappointing.
No way.
To make you go 7 days, it's such a weak barrier that I'm surprised that they made us do it, but they did. It's not all that much though. So once you get your 60, you buy this thing off of the vendor here called the Trader's Quarters Invitation, and that gets you up the elevator on the other side over there where you can go up then and very cheaply buy the stronghold.
I'm not sure I get the point of the gating I understand the concept behind gating content, but this is not really that. So,
No, and it doesn't.
but it is what it is.
I mean, it gates it by 7 days.
Right.
So, whatever. There's still
in my
incentive to
case-
keep running it and keep running it for longer because you can get this
Right.
get the mount and get this other gear.
Get the biochem recipes.
What does this gear set look like? It's not bad. That's sort of interesting. The Umbarian Guardians gear set. In fact, I
Yeah.
kind of like it. Huh. It's very spacesuit looking armor. Yeah, that's sort of cool.
I'm kind of curious about this armor that's in the is it Precious cargo pack? It has a picture of a character that looks like Lana, but she has white hair and she's wearing this white and blue armor. I'm kind of interested in what that actually really looks like in the game.
Yeah, you're right. That looked pretty interesting too. Can you is that the cartel pack where you can get, or is it separate? You can get the Lana's hairdos that are now available.
Oh, the
by
hairdo's
Cartel.
separate. But I just noticed that you can get the Pocket Sarlacc if you want it for direct sale right now. Because didn't that originally come from a crate?
It did. That was a rare drop, which I have, which is very cool. 2,000 cartel coins is not cheap.
Stop by again.
No, it sure isn't.
All right, so that was a little bit longer than one of our normal podcasts, but I was sort of fun running that flashpoint while we're
It was.
talking.
It was fun
so
for us anyway.
For those of you that are listening to this only on voice, on recording, like on iTunes or in off the download, let us know how terrible it sounded being distracted and running a flashpoint while we were talking about it. I tried to describe the things that I was seeing. I know I did a lot of, here you're looking at blah, 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 but hopefully you got the idea as we went through. And so with that, I think we can wrap it up for this evening. It is a fun flashpoint. I recommend doing it, and I recommend the story, as I said. So our EPC 209 droid now is ready to head out. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight on live on Twitch. Thanks for all of you that are also joining us in the however the quality of the audio is coming through on newoverlords.com or on iTunes or even on YouTube. We will stream again next Thursday night on twitch.tv/newoverlords around 10:30 p.m. Central. We'll probably talk about the Stronghold itself next week. Please follow us on Twitter @MaxTheGray and @AIESEMA. Please subscribe on YouTube so we can see how many people are watching us there. And certainly come find us on Jedi Covenant and ask us for an AIE Guild invite. We would love to have you. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.